I just made some of the best ribs you're ever gonna have outside over a real fire using a technique that I learned from my buddy down in Florida. And guess what? It only took me 30 minutes. All right, you got your raw rack of the ribs straight out of the package. I love buying these ribs from Kroger's because they already have the membrane off. You always want to peel the membrane off. Now this, you want to get a sharp knife and you want to go in here and we're going to cut each one of these ribs. So what you want to do is locate your two bones. You want to cut right in the middle because what we're doing is we want the bone in the middle and meat on both sides. Once you got all your ribs cut up in your single portions, just throw them in a bag. Now it's time for our marinade. We're going in with equal parts of Worcestershire and soy sauce. About that much. Then we're also going to use an equal amount of some olive oil. Now it's time to season it up. You're going to need these 4 flavors because this is an awesome combo. Start out with the Dan-O's Primo. That's the chrome top. Sprinkle a bunch of that. Then we're going in with the maroon top. That's the chipotle. Bunch of that in there. The beautiful thing about Dan-O's is we don't have to worry about how much we're putting in there because we're not going to make things too salty because we use the right amount of salt and everything else is natural ingredients. No sugar or chemicals. Seasoning the way it should be made. And we're going to add a little bit of that blue top. That's the seasoning. It's for anything that swims. It just so happens it's also good on pork, chicken, steaks, and all kinds of other things. We're going to sprinkle a bunch of that in there. We're going to get this all mixed up, and you may have noticed that I didn't use the black top. That's the crunchy. We're saving that for when they're cooking. Add a little crunch. Those are going to be some flavor-packed ribs. We're going to give those a couple hours, then we're going to hit the grill. All right, our ribs have marinated for a little over an hour. That's really all you need. Now let's go outside and fire up our grill. We're going to do this a different way. All right, this is my favorite way to do my fires. I get me one of these burn fire starters. This is real simple. You simply just light the bottom of it. Once you hear the sizzle, you know it's going. We'll just throw that down. Throw our lump charcoal full right on top. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. Got our coals nice and hot. All right, now we're gonna build the fire. Now you're gonna need some wood, but that might be a little bit too big. We're gonna have to give it a chop. First, we're gonna sharpen this thing up. Like that. And now we just set it up like Lincoln logs. We're gonna let this burn for probably a good 20 to maybe even 30 minutes and let the fresh wood kind of burn down and turn into coals because you don't want just nothing but fresh wood. So we're gonna let that cook for a little bit. Let's swing this right over the fire. Now I'm gonna go get those ribs. All right, it's time. It's going right on the grill. We'll spread out. Look at this, we got us some apple wood. We're gonna throw a couple pieces of that in there. All right, we're 10 minutes in. We added our apple wood on there. Now look at these. They're just already looking awesome. Telling y'all what, there's nothing like cooking over real fire. Sometimes it gets a little hot. All right, you guys, we are exactly 20 minutes in, and look at that. These are looking absolutely beautiful. They're gonna be so good cooking over this hot flame. We absolutely wanna get a char on them, but you don't wanna burn them. There's a difference between charring and burning. We're looking for the perfect char. So good. Can't wait to eat you. I'm gonna sprinkle you and I'm gonna eat you. All right, we're only 25 minutes in, you guys. Now look at this. That's a perfect char, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Now we're gonna start saucing these up. So this is how we're gonna do this. Our friends over at Bok Chan's, we're gonna use a little bit of that Japanese barbecue sauce. We're just gonna give it a nice drizzle on each one. And just kind of brush it around, just like that. Drizzle and brush. Drizzle and brush. I need a longer drizzler and a longer brush. Drizzle and brush. Drizzle and brush. Drizzle and brush. Now we're going in with the Dan-O's Crunchy. That's the black top. Check this out. Look at that right there. Add a little crunch to them things. Missed one. All right, last flip. So once again, sauce and brush. One last time, a little more crunchy. All right, y'all, it's time to eat. It's been a total cook time of 31 minutes. 31 minutes exactly. Look at that. Let's go get a bite. We're definitely gonna let these rest for about 5 minutes. We're gonna give them one more little drizzle. All right, you guys, it's time for the moment of truth. I just made these in 30 minutes. Can they actually be good? I like that. It's definitely not an overcooked rib that falls off the bone. I understand that. You guys can let me know in the comments what I did wrong if you'd like to. Or you can also comment that you've tried ribs like this before. Cutting them in single bone portions. Wow. And cooking them over a real fire or on a grill quick. And that's outstanding. As a matter of fact, that's Dan-O-Myte. Might be one of the best Dan ribs I ever had in my life. Y'all, you know I love you. Leave a like, leave a comment. We'll see you next time. Keep sprinkling. Oh yeah. Yum yum, get you some. Look at that.